Yasmine.
Hey Carolin, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for being here with me.
Thank you for having me.
Let's get right to it. I'll always love to start right from the beginning. So tell me about your childhood.
Okay, childhood. So I grew up in Cairo, in kind of a suburban area, and it's interesting that we're filming at a park because typically we don't have parks in Cairo, but we had a huge garden right in front of our block of buildings, and childhood was fun. I'm the eldest of my siblings, but I was the youngest of the play group of the neighbors. So it was interesting balancing both, like in a way being teased and tortured by the older children in the neighborhood, but yet at home I was the respected older child. It was cool. What else do you want to know about childhood? I'm happy to talk forever.
Do you have any specific favorite memories of that time with your siblings or anything else?
In general, I'd like to say that overall it was a nice childhood because I was okay at school. It was overall happy. My brother's 4 years younger, so we were close. But then my sister is 7 years younger than my brother, so 11 years. And one of the funniest things is, I mean, obviously this is more into my teens or tweens, when my parents told us that our sister was about to be born, and we were like, what did we do wrong? Why do we need another one? And I think this was the phase of my teenage rebellion. That was the beginning, like objecting to what's happening everywhere. So these are some memories. School was okay. I studied English and Arabic like equally as a child, so I think I'm one of the lucky ones that studied languages early on. So accordingly, I was exposed. I was able to read, watch movies, read novels and stuff.
Tell me about sort of your move to the UK. How did that happen?
So I've worked in tech forever, and started my own startup in 2011. And by 2019, we have sold it to a competitor in the best way possible. Like what we say in tech, I've made my exit. So I've done a few things meanwhile, but then it came to a phase where I was completely burnt out of startups, the work that you put in there, and I was thinking, what's next for me? What am I good at? What do I want to change? And at that point, I thought I don't want to do another startup. I want to work in the corporate world, but still I want to work in innovation. So with this thought, there was no hope for me to find that kind of work in Egypt or the Middle East, I'd have to say. So I started thinking I wanted to move. And I did it very methodological. So I thought I wanted to move somewhere that has to, I have to know the language, so either Arabic or English. It needs to be like a 5-hour radius from Cairo, so that if my parents, God forbid, something happens and I need to jump back home, it needs to be in the same day. It has to be big on tech and innovation. So actually, the way it ended, I was choosing between Dubai, Middle East, 4.5 hours, or London, UK, 4.5 hours, both of which I had studied in before. So I had a bit of a network. And then I think the final decision for London was, which lifestyle do I want?
You've been saying you've been working in tech for forever, so did you always know that that's the route you wanted to take?
A lot of things in my life happened by elimination or by pure coincidence. So the reason I ended up studying computer science is by elimination. I didn't want to be a doctor, I didn't want to be a lawyer, I didn't want to be like a construction engineer. And this sounded like something fancy, it sounded sophisticated. And it was a new department in the university back then, so I went for it. So no, I didn't know. I didn't know what it was going to be.
And tell me about your now, the latest sort of startup that because it's amazing.
Oh, thank you. I am. We're not I. We. It's a few of us. We are building a mobile app for female financial empowerment in the Middle East. Just basically tackling the issue of women don't talk about money, they miss out on financial opportunities, and this happens all over the world, by the way, not just the Middle East. But there are fantastic people doing similar work in London, so I leave that to them. and I focus on back home where there are, let's say, more crucial problems to solve. But basically, we are helping women understand about money, understand financial literacy, be in a safe space where they can ask stupid questions without fear of being judged by others. And there's this community where women can share like their achievements. People are sharing things like, I just paid all my debt, and someone else was sharing that she made her first investment. Someone was asking questions about, for example, if I was going to start investing, what do you suggest? So people are just sharing their experiences, which is fantastic, to be honest.
So tell me about sort of, did anything in your personal life or experience influence that you wanted to do these kind of specific startups and apps?
Yes, actually. So each one of them has a story. So the story with my first app, Supermama, is I was sitting with friends, colleagues at work. We were tired of working for the corporate, the typical boring life, and we wanted to build something on our own. Kept thinking of ideas, nothing clicked. Everything's been done before a million times, spoiler. So we thought, you know what, let's give it a week and think about things. And this week, my then sister-in-law announced that she was pregnant. And I looked at my situation, and we considered how lucky she was. So we speak English, we can read literature. At that point, 2011, very few Arabic content was online. It's only 4% of the content of the world. So we thought, so what about other women who do not have access to English resources? And again, my parents were doctors. She would have access to medical help at any given point. What about those who don't? Where do they go to? And that basically kicked off the idea of building Supermama, a place where women can learn about parenting in the modern way. Because again, in the past, women used to talk to their moms, mom-in-laws, and so forth about parenting, but a lot of those opinions have been outdated. And our generation of mothers would sit online to figure out information, so we wanted to build that for them. Nicely links into the story with Dija, my current app. We sold Supermama to a competitor in 2019, and I got a bit of cash, paid off my debt, paid off my student loans, and then I started thinking what to do next with money. And I didn't grow up in a family that were necessarily good with money, didn't make any correct investment decisions. Many of the things that we made as a family didn't end up being the right choices. And I struggle to find people to talk to about money, because women, we do not talk about money. We can talk about shopping, hair and bags, run club, but we will not talk about investment decisions, right? So by pure coincidence, at the time I was sitting with two friends, Rawia and Dina, and Rawia had just left a corporate job with a severance pay, and Dina had a bit of money. I think it was inheritance, and the question became, so what do we do with money? And I was like, I can't tell you how happy I was that someone asked this question. It was something that you don't talk about. So just the fact that someone was ready to talk about it, it broke a lot of walls. And we started talking about it. We started comparing notes, and we only invested in things that someone had recommended, because that was what's accessible to us.
What do you enjoy most about the work you do?
My grand ambition. I am one of those random people that still believe they can change the world to the better. I want to build something that changes people's lives to the better. And I've done it once before with my first startup. I built something that helped mothers with parenting. It's still alive today. So in a way, I have faith that I can do this, because if women are comfortable around money, they know their rights, their responsibilities, they know what they should do, then it's less likely for them to be abused, to be stuck in a relationship or in a job they can't get out of. It's more likely for them to be prepared for the future, and it can only get better from there.
100% agree, couldn't agree more. I'm sure you're super proud of, the achievement of creating this app and the startup, but I'd love to hear about an achievement in your personal life.
I finished a third novel, which I'm trying to get published. So yay for that. It's a struggle though. While you do finish and think you've done all the work, I think the harder work comes after you're done and you're trying to get it published. But the achievement is I've done it. I've actually sent out to a few agents, and I'm hoping something would come out of it. So wish me luck.
100%. sort of how's your time in London been? Do you think you stay for a little bit? Is there something, you've already got your eyes on next?
I'd if it were up to me, I'd love to stay in London permanently. But I think one thing I learned is the word permanent is too obscure in and of itself. You can't guarantee anything like that. In the future, I see myself going back and forth a lot to Saudi, that it might be like a dual life, like half here, half there. I don't know how it will work from there. I try not to think about it. It kind of gives me anxiety when you think too far in the future.
And obviously, like with two very, not almost opposite worlds, but Egypt is obviously quite different from the UK. Tell us sort of what you really enjoy about the UK, and then what you miss from home, and vice versa.
In London, the one thing the definite thing I miss about home is family. We're very close as a family, so I miss my mom and dad, brother and sister, nephews and nieces. I miss my friends. Certain foods.
Yeah.
I mean, I do cook Egyptian food, but again, sometimes you miss the street food.
Yeah.
Even
the ingredients are different if you buy them here or in Egypt.
No, and then yes, you can find shawarma, but you can't find that shawarma that you're used to growing up. So there are things that you miss about home in terms of food. I also miss. I think I miss a certain type of warmth being around the extended family. But when I'm in Cairo, I actually miss the independence. I miss the quiet. I miss, like I mentioned, the theaters, the museums, the life, the parks, the open air, the ability to walk in the street without having to spend money and yet have fun.
Yeah.
In Egypt, you're only able to have fun when you spend a lot of money, because either streets aren't safe or everything is targeting the upper middle, so everything is supposed to milk you out of your money. So you don't find there is no equivalent to a walk in the park where you could just have fun and relax.
Have you got anything else that's where you're like, that's next for me, or sort of on your little bucket list? Travel. Yeah.
I haven't been traveling for a while, time and money restrictions. But I'm hoping that towards the end of the year, I have a bucket list trip that I want to do to a very exotic place, Uzbekistan.
Okay.
I heard it's fantastic. The pictures are just phenomenal. So I'm, again, fingers crossed.
That's a great choice. That also leads into sort of my next question, which I always like to ask sort of everyone that I talk to. If you could take this bench anywhere in the world, where would that be?
Maybe sitting on the moon and looking at Earth.
Ooh, very fancy.
Yeah, just so you can see what's happening.
I'd love to see the Earth from space.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah. Last question. If you could dedicate this bench to anyone, who would that be?
So my best friend Nadine has always said that she wants a bench dedicated to her. And it puts a lot of pressure in a sense that we actually have to find a good bench and figure out how you do these things. And so maybe I can dedicate it to her in this program, and we're good. So Nadine, this is for you.
In spirit, Nadine, this is your bench now. Well, thank you so much. I think we'll leave it at that.
Awesome.